Good afternoon. My name is Amy Serrano. I'm an electric violinist based out of San Diego, California. First, I want to say thank you to Matt Bell and the Electric Violin Shop for asking me to share my thoughts today on this live stream. My hope is that you'll find some gold nugget pieces of advice and useful information for your own musical journey and performance. I'll be sharing from my own experience today, and by no means is this the only right way, but what has and continues to work for me. I play with DJs every weekend at weddings and corporate events, so today I'm going to talk about what I think are important aspects of how to perform with a DJ from an instrumentalist perspective. Let's take a look and see who is watching. If you guys are watching, make sure to say hello and drop a comment. I know there is a little bit of a lag, and hopefully I can see what's going on in here. So yeah, if you're watching, just say hi, your name, what instrument you play if you are, and I'm excited to keep sharing here. Hi Omar, thank you so much for saying hey. Who else is watching? I want to say hi to you guys. Hi Matt, hi Raz, thanks so much for joining you guys. Just getting used to this whole lag thing. Alrighty, so I want to dive in. Hi, how are you? Hi Vio, thanks so much for joining. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is about where the DJ is coming from and understanding a DJ's mindset with the event environment. So this whole first part I'm going to talk about just understanding the DJ's mindset. So we string players and instrumentalists tend to be very self-focused. We want to be the star of the show. We want and expect all eyes on us. We are very aware of every note we are performing, right? The DJ is working with a whole different perspective. DJs focus on the entire venue space and the room they are in. They focus on the energy of the crowd, bringing people to the dance floor and the atmosphere at all times. They are comfortable off to the side and they love their role as like a master of puppets controlling the dance floor all night. So that's definitely what I've noticed with DJs and their view of the room that they are playing in. Another important aspect to understand about DJs is their mindset with music. We instrumentalists would generally like to have the song sets all picked out, to know and prepare every song going into an event. However, the DJ again is very opposite. They want to follow the energy and flow of the night, so they do not put set lists together and stick with one set list all night. They are, of course, organized and know genres of music and popular tunes they want to play. But if you ask them what they are going to play, or you ask them for a set list, most likely they don't want to prepare anything beforehand that's specific. And that was so annoying for me when I started playing with DJs. I was like, how do they expect me to be prepared? Like, what are you gonna play? Like, what do you mean you can't tell me what you're gonna play? So, annoyingly as it may seem at first, understand this is actually a good sign for you as the instrumentalist, because we want the DJ that we're playing with to read the crowd all night and to keep the party going. So understanding their mindsets on how they view the party environment and the party music alone will help you out a lot working with the DJ. Let's see who's on here. Hi, Mitchie. Hey, electric violin. That's awesome, Omar. Cool. So let me know if you guys play with DJs, and if you're looking to getting into DJs, let me know what an experience has been, funny, bad, crazy. If I mentioned something that's relatable for you, let me know. If you had a different experience, let me know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, so drop your chats below. I'll be checking that after I mention a concept here and there. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is I want to quickly mention attitude, the attitude we come in with the event and working with the DJ. Come into every new situation with a kind and flexible attitude. There will be so much that you can probably learn, and the DJ will probably have a lot to learn working with an instrumentalist. So having a great attitude can be a perfect catalyst for a fun evening together. Remember, the end goal is playing together to create an event for your mutual client. So set the teamwork tone with your DJ. Let them know you are excited to work collaboratively. That way the DJ can jump on board quickly with you, joining in on their music, and they're not going to be, they're going to take that a lot better. So I play with, new DJs very frequently, usually for weddings and sometimes for private events. And that's because the client hires us separately. They don't know a lot of the time to hire a DJ and instrumentalist that have already worked together. They just are like, oh, I need a DJ, I need a violinist. So they'll hire us separately. So starting with a great attitude and just being very flexible will go a long way. Hi, Ernesto. Aw, you're so sweet. Yes, pizza. I think I know what I want to eat for dinner now. Cool, you play with bands, DJs. Oh my gosh. Omar, please drop your link so we can all watch how you play with flamenco guitars, because that's super cool. I played with DJ a few times. Oh my gosh, Matt, so different, right? What do you do when the DJ has some tracks that aren't exactly in tune? I am going to be covering this. You mean when the tunes are like remixed so much and they become microtonal? I will actually be talking all about this. But a quick answer for that is you got to communicate with your DJ beforehand that happens. And so you need a quick cue to be like, next. And I recommend just hanging out, plucking on your strings, dancing, and just waiting for the next tune to come in, because we can't play with, keys that are in between half steps, right? So that's really, so that's kind of what you got to do. So I will definitely cover that though. Hi, Sarah. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have a lot of thoughts, and that's so exciting. Congrats on playing with the DJ. Hi, Justin. Thanks so much for joining. Okay, I'm going to keep going with my thoughts on setup. So this is probably very obvious to a lot of you viewers, but this wasn't obvious to me at first. I'm just covering all the bases, and I'm covering what I am very strong in knowing and understanding now. So this might sound obvious to some of you, but when I started playing with DJs, I hardly understood my own setup. Sometimes I still am not that, confident with it, but make sure you understand your own live sound cable connections. Understand all the inputs and outputs. Understand and know how to check the input gain level to avoid a clipping sound. Forever I was like, what the heck is that? But it's so important. Understand how to find backing tracks and save them into playlists. Have your own backing tracks downloaded and ready to be plugged into the sound system. Have backup cables to convert your sound signal. For example, if your song is on your iPhone and the DJ's like, I don't have that song, you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to use my iPhone. Have all those cables, so have a lightning cable and an 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch, and have an auxiliary cable. Just have all those things available. You never know what you might need in order to play your tracks into the DJ setup. Surprisingly, I have played with so many DJs who have never plugged an instrumentalist into their turntables, their controllers, or their mixers. So ask the DJ beforehand what brand they use, and do a little bit of your own research to make sure you can plug yourself into their equipment. Ask how they can take your instrumental signal, like a 1/4 inch, or do they prefer your XLR cable? How would they like to patch your backing tracks into their mixer? See if they can provide the cables, and like I said, also have your own backup cables. Make sure to check your signal gain once they have plugged you in, like I mentioned. Understand the DJ equipment terminology. If both you and the DJ had never played with, the vice versa, then maybe have a quick rehearsal so you both can understand the setup and ensure a smooth performance the day of. That's normally what I would stress about before events, is like, oh, am I going to be able to be patched in correctly to the DJ system? And that I had that mindset because there were so many situations where the DJ had no idea what to do with my cables and how to plug me in, or there was like something funky that happened. So, I just realized I need to be prepared and know my gear and understand their gear to a good extent. Eighth to S to S is really helpful. Yes, absolutely, 100% Raz. Tell him the sentence. Please keep master tempo on. You'll know exactly what it means. It's just this one button that all DJs have, and it keeps the key of a track untouched when DJ changes tempo. Oh yeah, that's cool. That is cool. So that's if I'm understanding, it keeps the key of a track untouched. Oh. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really good to know. And I will talk about key changes pretty shortly and pretty soon. And I have a lot of ideas as well for that. But thanks so much for sharing, Vio. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so the next really, really important big thing to talk about is practice. So the absolute number one tip I can give you is learn and know how to improvise in all keys. Become best friends with your F sharp, G flat major, and your C sharp, D flat major keys and their relative minors. Learn how to follow the flow and energy of songs. If the song is building, build with your bow strokes and quicker notes. If the song is mellow, play longer rhythms and calmer note passages. Learn when to be a lead or a background role in any given moment of the song. If there are vocals, play lightly and around the lyrics. In between the lyrics, do quick note fills, quick licks and note fills. You can choose to play the melody of the song, or you can harmonize if you know it. And if you don't know the song being played, maybe play, rhythmically, copy the drums, copy the bass line or another background instrument and start copying what you hear them do. My second most important tip is to add to the music. Don't cover up the music. Most instrumentalists just starting to play with the DJ feel as if they have to play all the time, right? So silence and space is a good thing. Careful not to make the music sound busy or hectic. There is no one right or wrong way to play with DJ tracks, but just the more experience you have, the better you will become. I'm forever going to be working on that. It just takes time to understand how to fit into a new song and automatically on the spot. My final practice tip when you're practicing on your own is learn how to find a new song key in 3 seconds or less. And to play the first note correctly or slide into the first note correctly. It's horrible if, there's this huge audience, they're staring at you, and you're like, what the heck key is that? And then you don't want to be like playing different notes, trying to find the key. Like, that's just the most awkward situation ever. It doesn't look professional, doesn't sound professional. So you have to do all of that practicing at home, DJs don't stop the music in between songs. They merge the songs back to back and layer the music. So the ideal position to be in is to hear the new key and almost immediately know what key to start playing in. With an electric instrument, what is nice is, worst case scenario, you could mute your sound and try to figure it out. However, it is usually very loud at events where there are DJs. So that's not necessarily like the best thing that you want to count on doing. I think the best thing to do is just go onto SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, any streaming platform, type in DJ mix, DJ mashups, and practice along with different mixes every day up to an event to learn the transitions and to find song keys quickly. So I think it's very, very, very important. Sarah, I learned the hard way the first DJ gig I did and played the whole time and wore myself out, haha. Laying out and dancing is always a choice. Yes, exactly. Yep, just take breaks. We don't have to play the whole time. We're adding to the music, we're adding to the experience. Let the DJ play their tracks. We can pizzicato, twirl the bow, hang out, right? All right, let's keep going. Okay, so next, once you are practicing on your own, getting yourself, used to transitions, switching in fast keys, the next thing to do is practice along live with a DJ or the DJ that you're going to be with at an event. I would say make sure to practice the DJ transitions. Have the DJ show you how they will switch and transition from one song to the next. Talk about build up and knowing when the beat drops. Have the DJ show you their controller and the visuals of their DJ screen equipment. They see visually what the music will be doing, so you can ask for certain cues as long as the DJ can see it coming. Practice possible mixes that the DJ plans on using for their event. Let the DJ know, what songs you want them to throw in as well. So, definitely getting together, even if you don't have an event coming up, but this is something you want to do more of or you're interested in, or just want to be a well-rounded musician, play in bands and with DJs and solo and orchestra, find DJs, type in DJ in your area, hashtag, and then get together with some that are also interested in getting good at playing with instrumentalists. Alrighty, how's everyone doing? I see some new viewers. Please drop your name, say hello, tell me your experience, any questions that you guys have. I have, and I'll wait for a moment while I grab some water because my mouth is dry. All right, I'm going to keep going. So the next thing I want to talk about is communication. And I know some of these aspects I'm talking about right now are like, you're like, well, I want to just know exactly what to do when I'm playing. But so much of this prep work leading up to an event, the practicing on your own, practicing with the DJ, talking about all the things I'm going to mention, having a great attitude, all of these things are going to make your event seem so fun, seamless, and mistakes that happen are just going to be things you guys can laugh about and work through together. And it'll make the event, instead of stressful, just exciting. All right. I'm seeing some things come in. Do you have a website where you perform? Hi, Lorenzo! Oh man, I'm kind of bad at promoting myself sometimes. Yes, I have a website. It's serranomusica.com. serranomusica.com. I have some videos on the media part, but most of the videos you can see are on my YouTube channel. Just type in Amy Serrano Music. I have tons of music videos. I have a playlist called Pepper and Pocket, where the DJ that I prefer to work with, we have our own duo collab, and we've made like 4 videos. Actually, we just made another one that we're going to be releasing. So yeah, check that out. Thanks so much for asking. And then also my Instagram is Amy Serrano Music. So thanks so much for the follows, guys, and the shout outs. I haven't played with the DJ yet. Hi, Gamma! But I would love to perform one day. Yes, absolutely! Seriously, like if you haven't yet and this is all new, take all the notes down of what I'm talking about, because I wish I knew these things, which don't necessarily seem, that exciting, or you're like, oh, that's kind of obvious, but it's like, write this down, have this in the forefront, make these things happen. So, you're welcome. Olivia, do you have any videos of you playing along with the DJ? I have to say, it has never occurred to me to try this. Yes, I do. Yeah, so youtube.com, and then go to Amy Serrano Music, go to my playlist, Pepper and Pocket. You'll see our videos that we've created together. Obviously, they're like a lot more perfect, and I'm way more perfect sounding because it is a recorded video and I was able to put the parts together, but it's very accurate of what my DJ would mix and what I would want to put over a live track. So yeah, and then actually at the end of this, if there's time, I'm definitely gonna play something for you guys and kind of talk you through what I might put down. So yeah, Olivia, definitely gotta try it out. It is so fun playing with DJs, like so much fun. Raz, some DJs use a method of communicating key called Camelot wheel. It's a number letter system that mimics a circle of fifths. It's helpful to learn if you're DJ having some key. Absolutely! Yeah, I learned about that as well. That's so funny. It's like DJs have their own like music terminology. I'm like, I have a music degree. I've never heard about the Camelot wheel. What's that? So yep, absolutely. That's a good thing to talk about. Oh, thanks so much, Matt. I really appreciate for placing the links down. I probably could have done that. Yay! Okay, guys, I'm going to keep talking and get started. with communication, things you need to talk about with the DJ. So when you haven't met the DJ yet and you both have been hired for the same event, which happens, like I said, so much, just make a point to reach out. I always tell my client once I'm hired that I'll be reaching out to the DJ to confirm all the sound logistics and that we'll work through the music together, because you don't want your client having to be like, I don't know how to do DJ or violin and how do I put that together? You know, just take the lead as the professional, say, I'm going to reach out to my DJ, you know, don't worry about that. Make a point to be intentional about connecting with the DJ and having a conversation before the event. Don't think, oh, I'll just wait for the DJ to reach out, because a lot of times they won't. I found that DJs tend to view instrumentalists when they're hired for an event like we're like a floral vendor or like a videographer vendor, which just means that, you know, those vendors are separate from their job. So when in reality, you know, the instrumentalist, whatever, when we're playing and the DJ, you know, is playing music, we're 100% working together. So we need to be in collaboration, right? So just go ahead and make the first step in the conversation by reaching out. Once the connection is established, I recommend having several conversations about the upcoming collab and performance. So an important and slightly serious note to get out of the way is chatting about each other's expectations. Start by what the client has specifically asked of each of your music and services to look like. You know, when the DJ is hired, they don't know how long you're going to play as, you know, an instrumentalist or violinist. So chat about that. You know, chat about how long you'll be playing together and at what part of the event. Like, are you both going to be collaborating during cocktail hour, during a dance party, during the first dance? Like, when are you guys going to be having to work together? Agree on a vibe and a mood you want to achieve together through your music. Agree on genres you want to use. You know, there are tons and tons of genres. So it's like, you know, you have to come to some sort of middle ground agreement so you can work together. Agree on sound check arrival times. I always recommend arriving really early to get a sound check out of the way. DJs can get really busy with mixing or emceeing, and then they might not have time to check you during an event. So make sure to do that way before the event. And then also get the event planner involved and in the loop so they know you're both working together and just everyone is on the same page. Seems kind of random, but just the more, you know, they are like conducting the whole event, so bringing them in is going to be a good idea. Another thing, chat about the music tracks. Plan who will be providing the tracks and what device will they be being played on. The DJ's laptop or yours. You know, at events, half the time I'm playing off the DJ's laptop tracks, and a lot of times I'm providing my own track and I'm plugging my laptop into their mixer. Discuss if you both think the client would prefer original tracks with your instrument over it, or if they would prefer, you know, versions without vocals and more of like a backing track with your instrument on it. And then you guys can figure out, okay, who has it, where do we find it, etc. And then ask if they can send you a list of most popular songs that they're most likely going to use, so you can get familiar and somewhat rehearse beforehand. And then again, acknowledge, you know, that it won't be this specific list, but it would be really helpful for you to prepare just a little bit beforehand. And absolutely mention songs you'd really like for them to play that will fit the vibe of the event. Or songs you really don't want them to play. And then I think most DJs will, you know, take note and accommodate, but that starts with communication. These conversations are if the client gives you both, you know, free reign to play whatever music. The other situation is that the client gives you both a list of songs they specifically want played, which in that case makes it easier on you to prepare. Whichever situation you might be in, an absolute must tip to chat about is song keys. Try, and Matt, you had brought this up, you know, try to help the DJ understand that song keys provide the note structure and foundation for an instrumentalist. A lot of times, DJs can see what song keys are in. However, it might not always be accurate if the song has been remixed, and so the song is now in a different key, you know, but most likely it will be an accurate reading. So let the DJ know what keys you'd really like them to try to avoid playing or to transition in and out of quickly, and let them know which keys will be really easy for you to flow and play in. Raz mentioned this, you know, have them pull up the Camelot wheel and point out which keys you really want them picking songs in and songs to avoid. And yeah, so Matt, this is what you actually brought up, which was watching out for microtonal keys, and that's a key that is in between two chromatic keys. DJs can play tracks that have been remixed so much that the pitch is raised and lowered slightly, and they lose a playable key and become microtonal. Those are horrible, annoying moments when you are just starting to work with a DJ and you're like, what do I do? You're like, this is not possible. Like, I don't know what to do. There's no notes work. Like, I remember having those moments and I was like so confused. So like I said, those used to be super annoying moments. But if you let the DJ know this can happen, you both can have a plan on having a cue or a word on stage for the DJ to quickly move on to the next song. Have a plan of like maybe plucking your strings, just standing next to the DJ and dancing and having fun so it is still a performance while you wait for a new playable key. So if it is a horrible key, don't try to play in it. You already, like a microtonal key that doesn't work on your instrument, don't even try, you know, pluck, have fun, and just, you know, do the little like next, you know, symbol to your DJ and then wait for them to switch songs. Besides helping the DJ understand what keys to maybe not play or to play, another aspect to help them understand are ideal songs to and not to play. So I'm not talking about like a specific song, but more like the type of song. So ideal songs for an instrumentalist to play over are very melodic. They have a strong key. They have a lot of space and room for the instrumentalist to play and shine on. Ask them to try to avoid playing songs with a lot of drum intros that lack a strong key or a chord progression and you're just hearing rhythm but no key and you're like, I don't know what key to start in. Avoid songs that are super, super heavy with lots of words. Like some rap songs are just so hard to play over because they're so busy. And a lot of songs maybe already have instrumental solos, so we're not going to play over an instrumental solo, like an awesome saxophone solo. We're not going to play over that, you know? So you have to let the DJ know that. And these conversations with the DJ are if they are interested and responsive. However, knowingly enough, every once in a while, the DJ can be aloof or too busy to chat, disinterested in working with the instrumentalist. Like, I've had people ask me like, oh, this DJ is not wanting to talk to me. What do I do? You know, so that's why I'm bringing this up. So it's like, what do you do then? You know, be completely prepared for any song and scenario thrown your way. That's really the best answer I can give you. Be ready to improvise in all those annoying keys. Be ready to engage with the crowd and continue a performance, you know, without playing when you're kind of waiting for the next song to come in. Understand what your client wants and then have your own backing tracks ready to plug in case the DJ's like, oh, I don't know what the client wants, and you showed up and you're like, oh, I didn't even know I'm going to be plugging into a DJ system. Like, what's your plan? You know, like, just be prepared for yourself, you know? Don't assume the DJ will have every song you want to play and over the right version with the right key you prefer. You know, you have to prepare, you know, on your own just in case. So let's take a look at what y'all are saying. Talk about money in doing this. Okay, so I know my experiences. I don't really know if this is similar to the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast right now. I'm in California, and I don't know about the rest of the world. So, like, and then I just charge by the hour, or by like 20-minute sets. Like, I'll do like 2 20-minute sets per hour, or like maybe like a 10-15 minute electric violin show that's, you know, really upbeat, and then So that's like me as a solo artist. And then like I have my prices for bringing in a DJ, and that's going to be several grand, you know, because that's a lot more of an entertainment show, and that's, you know, we're creating a whole act when we do that. So yeah, I mean, it's hard if you gave me like a specific scenario with a specific amount of time, the venue, you know, I could give you more some quotes, but it's just hard to say anything in specific, because the range really does vary. So let's see, Victoria, do you have any fallback riffs or use across all keys or styles that you use kind of fill it with when you're stuck for inspiration? Absolutely. I think I probably have like an Amy style that I like to kind of sound a little bit soulful when I play, or I'll do like, you know, pecky bow, like I'm just bouncing the bow, you know, kind of rhythmically. So I definitely have some little go-to licks, and that's an amazing idea. Have fallback riffs, you know, have things you can just build your tool belt of musical riffs in any key, so you can just take them out and insert them into the song when you're like, I have no idea what to play. So that's a really great point, Victoria. Lorenzo, why is it that we can't do our own program? Other artists aren't told what material to do. When I do mine, I'm hired because they like what I do. 100%. Why isn't it that we can't do our own program? I'm not really sure what you mean by that, but you know, you bring up a good point. I have tried personally to really craft a certain look, a brand, an image, a sound, a style. So when my clients see my videos, they're like, they either say yes, they want that, or no, they want that. Like they're not like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like her or not. It's like, that's what I want or I don't. And then most of the time now at this point, they're like, just play your thing, do your thing. This is the vibe I want, so go for it. So then in Miami, it's every 10-minute sets into 1 hour. What do you, hi Ernesto, I don't really know what you mean by that, but so you do like a 10-minute set per hour. Like that's awesome. Yeah, normally like if I do like a little show, I'm gonna do like a 15-minute performance within the hour. From my experience, it's imperative that the DJ mixes using master tempo turned on or key lock so that you can increase your use tempo and not change the pitch of the song. 100%. Yeah, that's like really cool. I mean, like I have never even told the DJ to do any of that. Like, oh, master tempo or lock a key. Like that's brilliant. I mean, if that's possible, that's fantastic. I think now though, I wouldn't choose any of that because I like having the song switch keys, switch tempos. Like it's all part of the show and the fun. It's kind of like I'm climbing through a jungle gym. I don't really know what's coming up next. So, you know, it's really, I like that there's nothing the same. That's why I really like playing with the DJ, because there are so constantly new scenarios. Even with when I'm playing with my one DJ, every set looks so different, and I really love that. But you know, when you're starting out, that is a good thing to refer to. Matt Bell. Okay, you're playing him. Got it. Cool. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna keep chatting. So not only do you want, so I was talking about conversations off the stage. So not only do you want conversations off the stage, but you definitely want to map out communication on the stage during the performance. Have cues and body signals that you can give each other for important directions. For example, have a cue for switching or skipping songs. It might be nice for the DJ to signal that he will be mixing a new song in soon, so you can play lightly and just be ready to back out whenever you hear the key change. You might want to have a cue to ask the DJ to switch songs if the song has a microtonal key, or you just can't seem to find anything to play. Come up with a cue if you want the DJ to turn you or the track up while you're out strolling or walking around or on the other side of the stage. A really fun cue to develop together is the DJ helping you know when the beat is about to drop. I love those moments. So a lot of times DJ mixes will put in and build the beat for like 4, 8, 16, whatever measures, and then the song drops hard and a fun beat and melody comes in. So that's super, super fun. It's not always the same. And that's the annoying part is like, I was trying to communicate with my DJ, like, do you see when the beat drops? You know, and she can't always see that because every song and every mix that she does is different. So but she can see like maybe 4 beats before it'll drop. So that's why it's just amazing if they can cue you right before that happens. Like she will go like 4, 3, 2, 1, and then she does this, and I know I'm like gonna play right with the beat drop. And I mean that's not perfect either. There's sometimes where she's cued me like 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it's just like silence or it doesn't, and you're never really gonna have everything prepared or know. So just the more you can rehearse and the more tight you can seam, and that's just, the end goal. Um, so let's see, what are y'all saying? Okay, guys, so those are like the things I wanted to chat about. I wanted to play a little bit for you guys, like just talk you through my thought process for playing over a track and what I might end up doing. Do we have any questions regarding just the things I talked about, like setup, communicating off and on the stage, your sound setup, the DJ setup, how to practice, keys, annoying keys, song choices, anything like that before I grab my violin? Let me know. Ooh, Ricardo. Hi, Ricardo. If you're playing in the DJ, he says, if you're playing in the DJ booth, it helps that you can see the sound wave of the song and understand when there's going to be a break or a climb. 100%. And what he means by break is like, this is what we call a break, like when the music stops. And then the climb is like when it's starting to go from maybe like quarter notes to eighth notes, sixteenths. It just builds, builds, builds. You hear the drums or something in the background. So, how does playing with the DJ impact your personal performances? Justin, just read what you wrote. How does playing with a DJ impact your personal performances? So, I'm gonna take that as like that you mean that there's a DJ playing and then I'm playing. So, it's a whole own scenario. So I have my performance that's crafted, prepared, how I'm going to think and deal with the music because I'm with a DJ. And then when I'm not with the DJ, it honestly just depends on what type of event it is. Like tomorrow I'm playing for a nice steakhouse. I'm providing my own backing tracks. I'm not going to play the way I would with the DJ. I'm going to be more serenading, more sweet, more engaging, try to be, make it a very pleasant experience for them. When I'm with the DJ, my goal is for the event, the audience to have fun, and I'm bringing people up on stage, we're jumping. It's just a very different vibe. So that's my thought with that. Olivia, I have a million questions, but I would love to see you play. Olivia, just DM me. Send me your questions. I do this all the time. Like, I have tons of ideas. I'm sure there are way better ideas, but I have tons of ideas that really have worked for me and do work and continue to work. So I would love to share my personal experience with you. Thanks so much for sharing those questions, guys. All right, so let me pull on my track, get out my violin. I'm excited to show you guys. Somebody said, Ricardo, and let's not forget that we as a violinist are only as good as the DJ, because it's crap and it happens, and job gets 1,000. Yes! Oh my goodness. You are so right, Ricardo. I have played with amazing DJs, aka my DJ that I work with, and I've played with some DJs and I'm just like, what are you doing? Are you sleeping? Like, people don't they want to dance. Why are you playing this song? And you're like, I could have created that playlist at home, you know? So that's why, Ricardo, going off of what you just said, having all of this communication and these conversations beforehand will get you both on the same page. Rehearsing beforehand, if possible, is so amazing because you can see what you're getting yourself into and how to better prepare yourself, right? Yay! Thank you, Justin. You're so awesome. Okay, let's go. Let's go. So to end my How to Perform with a DJ live stream, I wanted to give you some real life examples. My DJ and I just put together a new mix. So I'm going to play the track as she sent it to me. There's no violin on it. And it's just like what she would create in a live setting. And then as it's going, I'm going to talk to you guys, just throw out ideas like, oh, I would do this, or, ooh, this is happening. Let's think about doing this, you know? And then I will replay it and then play it with my violin and kind of show you what I end up coming up with. Sound good? Let's go. Let me tune real quick. Okay, we are live and hot. We don't even have a name for this track. It's, so yeah, we haven't even released it. So you guys are hearing some new stuff for the first time. I'm excited. Here we go. Okay, so I listened and I'm like, ooh, this is funky. This sounds cool. And I'm like, all right, I think I'll start with some like slow notes here, just kind of like dipping my toes in the water. And it keeps going. So I'm like, I'm probably gonna do a little bit more rhythm funk right here. I'm gonna get a little bit funky. Bum, 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 bum. Like that's the rhythm I'm hearing. Bum, 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 bum. Cool, so I'm kind of just understanding, I'm hearing this, and I'm wondering, okay, where is she gonna go with this, you know? So I'm listening for that. Did you guys hear that? It kind of like goes into a different track. Oh, cool, I love Daft Punk. So I'm definitely, like when Daft Punk comes in, I'm definitely just gonna play that melody because I know that melody. So let me restart and then play kind of what I explained. So I'm going to set the mood with some whole notes. I'm going to play some rhythmic things, just kind of have some fun. And then when Daft Punk comes in, I'm going to just play the melody. I'm going to let the first 4 bars just come in for the Daft Punk, and then I'm going to switch and play the melody. So here's just the intro. You know, I don't want to cover that. It repeats. Daft Punk, I'm going to let it hear one time, and then I'm going to come in with the melody. So let's see what she does now. She mixes already fast. She's mixing. So I'm probably just do light rhythm, barely playing anything. So here, I'm just going to do some whole notes again. The vocals are loud, so I'm going to let the vocals do their thing. Here's the build-up. You guys hear that build-up? Listen for it. Let's see when it drops. You guys hear that drop? So I'm gonna play something, maybe some fun arpeggiation right there. Let's see how long that goes for. So I'm just gonna probably do the same fun like arpeggio sound that comes to my mind. I'm just gonna keep going. Already I'm hearing a mix happen right now. So I'm gonna get ready to back out right here. All right, so let's go back to the Daft Punk. I'll play that part again, and then I'll show you, how I kind of mix into the next part. I'm gonna stay very light because there's more of a drum, and then there's more drum beats and singing. So I'm gonna kind of let the vocalist do her thing right there. And then when the beat drops, I'm going to play something just kind of fun and like really party feel, like something really fun with the bow, just something like fun, simple, but like catchy, Let's try it out. Going back to the Daft Punk part. There's the build. Like I heard that switch come in, so I kind of just like backed off, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do a whole note. Right here, listen to that beautiful harp sound. It's like already a lead, right? It's like a lead instrument, so I'm not gonna play over that. I'm gonna just let the audience enjoy hearing that beautiful harp part. Okay, there's the beat. Did you guys hear that? She just mixed in that next song. So I'm gonna try to come in there. Obviously with the live performance, they're gonna have to cue you in or just be ready to switch right when you hear that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let that beautiful, melody come in, and then I'm gonna come in. And then right here at the end, my DJ and I like to kind of mix. So I'll come back to that. I think the harp part happens like 3 times, and then the beat drops. So I'll plan to do that. 5, 6. Because we like space. This is pretty. I need a break. The audience needs a break. Okay, I think it's gonna come in after this. Let's see. I'm just copying her mixes. And she's gonna end. See, I heard it come to an end. I maybe play a little bit over that beat, but I'm just like writing it, and I'm like, yep, it ended. I'm good. Like, I want to hold out to that. So, yes, you guys. So that's kind of how I think about playing over a DJ mix. I leave space. I copy the rhythm. If it's funky, I'm like, cool. I'm gonna just come up with some fun little bass line. If I know the melody and it's epic, like that Daft Punk melody, I'm gonna play that right there. If I know it and it keeps repeating, I'm gonna maybe harmonize. And then I'm always waiting for those beat drops. I'm always waiting for that to come, and then I'm gonna come right in with that beat drop. So yeah, I mean, there's really no right or wrong way. It's just practice, practice, practice on your own, getting familiar. So just pull up SoundCloud and just start practicing with DJ remixes or DJ, mixes. So all right, so okay, it's 12:50. Before I wrap the live stream up, I want to take a look at your guys' comments and see if there's just any last questions. I'll wait just a minute since there is a bit of a lag right there. So let me take a look. Backing it up a minute. Pete, I've done DJ gigs having to play in the middle of dancing drunks and getting assaulted by middle-aged women. Oh my gosh, love it. Yep, I mean, it happens, like, but if you are agreeing to play at a bar or at a party, things like that might happen, right? So we have to know that going into it. But that's hilarious. Thanks for sharing. Matt, I love how you leave a lot of space. It's not necessary to play all the time. Thank you. That's what I said. And it helps people appreciate the music when it's not just like violin, violin, violin the whole time, right? Pete, then have the DJ commit the cardinal sin of viciously turning the treble up on my violin. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious. 100%. Yep. Just taking, like Matt said, take a theme in the mix and just keep switching it up, switching up with rhythms, switching it up with, notes, just having fun playing around. So, oh my gosh, Pete, that's hilarious. The DJ very speeds the track so they are halfway between two keys. Yep, gotta love those moments, 100%. Hey, Pete, that's when you just grab your bow, you start spinning it, you go talk to people in the audience, go, hey, bring them up to dance, and don't play during those moments, right? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Hi, Tiffany, how are you? Thanks for saying hi. Okay, so I haven't seen any other questions. I think I answered everything on here. So I gotta head out because I'm gonna start teaching. As I go, I want to give a big thank you to Matt Bell again and the Electric Violin Shop for having me host a live stream on their page. That's so cool. It's an honor to share my experience with you all, and I hope you guys are able to walk away with new information, hopefully some inspiration, and yeah, that's all I got. So thanks everybody. Bye.